So, we all know that owning a home can be one of the best investments you can make in your entire life. Now, because of this, for many people, their main goal in life is just to own a home and pay that off as quick as possible. After all, owning a home is the greatest American dream. In this video, we're going to talk about 10 amazing ways you can actually pay off your mortgage super fast. Welcome back to my channel, beautiful people. If you do not know me, my name is Lydia, and on this channel we talk all things money, investing, and entrepreneurship. As I always say, if you enjoy videos like these, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn your notification bells on, that way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And of course, time's going, so let's just jump right into it. Okay, so the first tip that I have for you guys, I promise it's not rocket science. Buy a house that you can actually afford. Now, whenever you're ready to purchase your home, the bank will actually tell you how much money you're qualified for. But please, guys, I'm begging you, do not take that amount and just run with it. Purchase a house that you can afford. So, if you get qualified for $500,000 and you've calculated your budget, stick to a $200,000 home. You need to calculate your monthly expenses in order to know what fits in your budget and what you're comfortable paying on a monthly basis. After all, guys, you're like literally signing your life away for 30 years, probably 15, depending on the route that you choose to take. However, the majority of people I've noticed, they rather go with a 30-year mortgage. And because of that, you want to ensure that for the next 30 years, you'll be comfortable paying that amount on a monthly basis. Have you ever heard the term house poor? Well, if you haven't, look into it before you purchase a home. You don't want your home to become a next financial burden, but instead you want it to be a good investment that you can actually afford, and you see yourself paying that amount for 30 years. Remember, when you own a home, you're not only going to be responsible for the mortgage payment, you're going to also be responsible for taxes, maybe HOA, depending on the community in which you live in, insurance. You're also going to be responsible for repairing that home, especially if you decided to just go with the older home in order to save money. These are the things that you need to take into consideration. So when you're calculating your budget, don't just calculate your mortgage, but make sure that you have a little wiggle room for those costs. The second tip that I have for you guys as it relates to paying off your mortgage early is to actually consider a 15-year mortgage instead of 30 years. So with a 15-year mortgage, you will benefit tremendously from a lower interest rate in comparison to a 30-year mortgage. So that simply means that you will be paying less money to the bank. Don't let those banks get rich off of us, people. Usually when you go the 30-year route, if you do the calculations, the amount of money you spend in interest is almost like you're paying for the house twice. So like I said, go with a 15-year mortgage instead of 30 years because not only do you pay it off quickly, but you spend way less money in interest, and also you pay more money to the principal of that loan. The third tip that I have for you guys as it relates to paying off your mortgage early is actually to set a goal payoff date. Now what I mean by this is that you will actually have to come up with a date, a realistic date that you want to pay off your entire mortgage by. Here's an example. If you want to pay off your mortgage by the time you hit 30 or 40, that is a goal. Calculate your budget. Calculate the amount of money you have coming in and see if that is realistic. We want to make sure that these goals are attainable in order for us to be motivated to reach that goal. We don't want to set a time frame stating that we need to pay off this house in 3 years when we know it's just not possible. Also, when you set a goal, you're actually motivating yourself and holding yourself accountable just to make sure that you've met that goal. Whether that goal is to pay it off in 5 years, in 10 years, maybe by your 30th or 40th birthday, set a goal, make sure that it's attainable, and that will help you to be motivated. And again, make sure that that goal is realistic. Make sure that it's something that you can reach. If you cannot pay your mortgage off in 3 years, don't set a deadline for 3 years because that's not realistic, and you will end up becoming demotivated because you already know it's not possible. Set realistic goals, set a harsh deadline, and you're good to go. The fourth tip that I have for you guys as it relates to paying off your mortgage early is to actually reduce your expenses and increase your income. Pick up an extra side hustle. If that's a way that you can bring in an extra few dollars per month, do that. By the way, I actually have a video on 15 amazing side hustles where you can actually make money from home. Check it out. I'll leave the link in the description box below. So once you're done with this video, if you're not interested in doing different side hustles, what you can do is to simply pick up a few extra hours at work. That extra money that you're bringing in from your overtime hours can actually be put solely towards your home. As I always say, try to create a tight budget, and when you do set that tight budget, analyze it and see what are the things in that budget that I can actually live without. For example, if you have cable, guys, there's a cheaper alternative. Instead of spending $250 every single month on cable for the best package, you can actually just settle for Netflix. Go for a cheaper alternative. If you really want to meet this goal, it is going to take a lot of sacrifice. Now, the big question is it worth it for you? I will definitely live without TV just to make sure my mortgage is paid off early. Most people, they have the best packages with these cable providers. And over a 30-year period, if you continuously pay $250, that's $90,000 that could go towards the cost of your home. I'm not calculating the cost increasing over a period of time. I'm just calculating a flat $250. So that goes to show you that if you actually create a budget, analyze it, cut out the things that you can actually live without, it will help you to pay off your mortgage easy. As I love to say, it's not rocket science. The fifth tip that I have for you guys, I know a lot of people find this topic very controversial. However, if you're looking to pay off your mortgage early, another way you can do that is by making bi-weekly payments. Now, if you were to make your mortgage payment once every single month, you're making 12 payments per year. However, if your bank allows this, you can actually make half that payment every 2 weeks, which equals to 13 payments for that entire year. Voila! You're actually making one extra payment every single year by making bi-weekly payments. So as you can see, if you do make that half payment every 2 weeks, by the end of that year, you would have made one extra payment. You also won't notice a drastic difference in your expenses because you're paying half your mortgage every 2 weeks. You're not taking out a lump sum of money in order to make that mortgage payment. You might not see the difference one extra payment per year might make, but if you actually sit down and run the numbers, I bet you will. If you're making one extra mortgage payment per year, you'll pay off your home approximately 3 years quicker than expected. The sixth tip that I have for you guys as it relates to paying off your mortgage early is to actually use your home to generate an extra income for you. So basically, the property is paying for itself. This is how you do it. With websites such as Airbnb, you can actually rent out a room or an entire floor of your house for a few days or a few weeks and bring in some extra cash. That way, the house is actually paying for itself because that money you've made through Airbnb, you'll be putting solely towards your mortgage. I've heard of a lot of people renting out their yard space to people who actually need space to park their RV or their boat. So those are just some simple ways you can make your house bring in that extra cash for you. The seventh tip that I want to give you guys as it relates to paying off your mortgage early is to make lump sum payments. So when you get that tax return, instead of spending it on something that's just not necessary, put that money towards your mortgage. If for some reason you got an inheritance, go ahead and put that towards your mortgage. Now, I'm not saying that if you find yourself with an extra $20,000 in your bank account that you should take 19 and throw it on your mortgage. No. What I'm really saying is that after you have your emergency fund and you see where that fits into your life and your budget, then you can actually go ahead and run some numbers and see what will be a good option for you. But again, run some numbers, try to make lump sum payments in order to pay off your mortgage early. Another way you can actually pay off your mortgage early is to pay a little bit extra than what your mortgage is every single month. For example, if your mortgage payment is $1,300, go ahead and pay $1,400 instead and put that extra to the principal of your loan. Whether it's $100 extra, $200 extra, whatever fits your budget. Now let's run some numbers. What would things look like if you were to pay an extra $200 per month? This means that you will be $72,000 ahead as it relates to paying off your 30-year mortgage early. So as you can see, this strategy is a strategy that you can use to quickly shorten the lifespan of your mortgage loan. Another tip you can use to pay off your mortgage early is actually to refinance your mortgage at a lower rate. If your credit score was not the best at the time you applied for a mortgage, if you're now in a better position, you might want to consider refinancing your mortgage loan in order to get a lower rate. Everyone knows that the lower your interest rate is, the more your money is actually going to the principal of your loan versus actually going to the interest of that loan. Now, of course, this strategy will accelerate that process and you'll end up paying off your home loan before you know it. One thing you want to look out for is if you're already 5 years into your 30-year mortgage, whenever you go ahead and refinance, try to refinance at a 25-year mark if you're looking to maintain that 30-year mortgage. That way you're not stretching out the lifespan of your mortgage. Another amazing tip that I have for you guys is to actually maximize your down payment. Now, not because the basic requirement is 3.5%, that does not mean you have to put down 3.5% towards your home. The best way to buy a home is to put 100% down. Paying cash for a home might sound weird to many, but just imagine the freedom that you have if you can afford it. Well, if you can't afford to pay cash for a home, opt for a mortgage, which a lot of us do. Try to aim for at least 10% down. Of course, 20% down is way better because that way you're actually avoiding PMI. If you put that 20% down, you're avoiding paying PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. And by doing that, you're saving 0.5 to 1% of whatever that loan amount is. Now, let's say, for example, you're purchasing a property which is $250,000. That's your loan amount. Now, per year, that PMI will cost you approximately $1,250 to $2,500. As you can see, you're saving a little bit of money that you could actually put towards your property taxes or maybe even just repairing or remodeling your home. Think about it. Why give the bank that extra money if it's not speeding up the process of getting out of that mortgage loan? The more cash you put down, the less money you'll need to finance. That makes your monthly payment way lower, and also it speeds up the process of you paying off your home loan. As you can see, guys, when it comes to actually paying off your mortgage early, there is no secret. There is no magic trick out there that you can just run and do and it just happens overnight. It does not work like that. As you can see, it takes a lot of budgeting, hard work, and sacrifices in order to just pay off that loan early. With all that said, I want to know in the comments below, are you a homeowner? Now, if you are, what strategy are you considering, like seriously considering, in order to meet that goal, in order to pay off your mortgage early? I would love to hear it. Leave it in the comments below. I can't wait to hear them. So that wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you did find this content valuable. Also, go ahead and share it to people who you believe might find it valuable as well. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your notification bells on. That way you will be notified every single time I post a new video. Until next time.